They're saying all you needed to do was just take a pause. What do you say to that?
I say that's completely false, and it's contrary to American history, to our Constitution, and to the laws of this country. And I never considered it, Martha. Look, from the first time I heard speculation that as vice president I'd have the authority to overturn the election by returning or rejecting votes, I frankly dismissed it out of hand. Look, the founders of this country had just won a war of independence against a king. And I was confident as a student of American history that those founders would have never vested the vice president or anyone else with unilateral authority to decide what electoral college votes to count and which not to count. I was clear on that throughout. I was clear with President Trump throughout, all the way up to the morning of January 6th. But let's be clear on this point. It wasn't just that they asked for a pause. The president specifically asked me, and his gaggle of crackpot lawyers asked me to literally reject votes, which would have resulted in the issue being turned over to the House of Representatives, and literally chaos would have ensued. So, Martha, I just people can read the indictment, but the American people deserve to know that President Trump and his advisors didn't just ask me to pause. They asked me to reject votes, return votes, essentially to overturn the election, and to keep faith with the oath that I made to the American people and to Almighty God. I rejected that out of hand, and I did my duty that day.
Do you think he knew that he lost the election?
Do I personally believe that? Yeah, at first I wasn't sure, but I have come to believe that he knew well that he had lost the election.
The fact is that he doesn't believe he won. He was concerned before the election that he was losing. And I know that because he said it to me directly. You know, he knows he didn't win, but his ego, George, won't permit him to believe that he's the only person in America outside the state of Delaware to ever have lost to Joe Biden.
And what Trump's going to do is just declare victory, right? He's going to declare victory. But that doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner. The Democrats, more of our people vote early that count. Theirs voted mail. And so they're going to have a natural disadvantage, and Trump's going to take advantage of it. That's our strategy. He's going to declare himself a winner. So when you wake up Wednesday morning, it's going to be a firestorm. We're going to have Antifa crazy, the media crazy, the courts are crazy, and Trump's going to be sitting there mocking, tweeting shit out. You lose. I'm the winner. I'm the king. Here's the thing. After then, Trump never has to go to a voter again. He's going to fire Wray, the FBI director, and fire the CEO, and say, fuck you. How about that? Because he's never going to, he's done his last election. Oh, he's going to be off the chain. He's going to be crazy. Also, if Trump is losing by 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it's going to be even crazier. Because he's going to sit right there and say they stole it.
Agree.
I'm directing the Attorney General to shut down all ballot places in all 50 states. It's going to be no. He's not going out easy. If Biden's winning, Trump is going to do some crazy.
But who told the committee in previous interviews that he warned Trump multiple times, including on election night, results could take a while.
My recommendation was to say that votes were still being counted. It's too early to tell. Too early to call the race.
The committee says Trump ignored Stepien and November the 4th and said this.
Frankly, we did win this election.
That night, according to witness testimony, launched a split within Team Trump. Those who continued to push the big lie he'd won the 2020 election and those who didn't.
We called them kind of my team and Rudy's team. I didn't mind being characterized as being part of Team Normal.
The committee's second panel told the story of just how far Trump went after details of Trump pressuring Georgia's Secretary of State to quote-unquote find more votes became public. Al Schmidt, the lone Republican on Philadelphia's election board, was asked to probe other voter fraud allegations.
Not only was there not evidence of 8,000 dead voters voting in Pennsylvania, there wasn't evidence of 8.
Even for these Republican officials, Trump's repeated lie led his supporters, echoing those lies, to make very real threats.
After the president tweeted at me by name, calling me out the way that he did, the threats became much more specific, much more graphic. and included not just me by name, but included members of my family by name, their ages, our address, pictures of our home.
First, as to people who had some knowledge of whether or not there was fraud, everyone was telling them that the election was not stolen by fraud. And then as to the issue of what he could do legally at that point, he went through all the lawyers, he wouldn't listen to all the lawyers in the department in various departments or the White House that had those responsibilities, or his campaign. He would search for a lawyer who would give him the advice he wanted.
So he had said something to the effect of, I don't want people to know we lost, Mark. This is embarrassing. Figure it out. We need to figure it out. I don't want people to know that we lost.
Whether the president intentionally tried to overturn the election knowing that he actually lost. He told you in November of 2020 that he lost when you were working in the White House.
He admitted, he blurted out watching Joe Biden on TV, can you believe I lost to this guy? And he actually admitted in a press conference when he was speaking to the about coronavirus in the press briefing room, he actually slipped and kind of admitted that Joe Biden won.
The Georgia election was not stolen, and I had no right to overturn the election on January 6th.
Nick, you on the phone? Yeah, I'm here. Thanks, Kevin. I guess there's a question. When we were talking about the 25th Amendment resolution, and you asked if what happens if it gets there after he's gone, is there any chance, are you hearing that he might resign?
I've had some few discussions. My gut tells me no. I'm seriously thinking of having that conversation with him tonight. I haven't talked to him in a couple days. From what I know of him, I mean, you guys all know him too. Do you think he'd ever back away? But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to call him. This is what now. I haven't had a discussion with the Dems that if he did resign, would it not happen? Now, this is one personal fear I have. I do not want to get into any conversations about Pence party or anything like that. I mean, the only discussion I would have with him is that I think this will pass, and it would be my recommendation we should resign. I mean, that would be my take, but I don't think he would take it, but I don't know.
The man is utterly amoral. Morality does not exist for him. It's why he went after Heidi directly and smeared my wife, attacked her. But Donald is a bully. Bullies don't come from strength. Bullies come from weakness. Donald is cynically exploiting that anger, and he is lying to his supporters.
Donald Trump would be an absolute, utter disaster for the Republican Party, destroy conservatism as we know it, and it would take generations to overcome a Trump candidate. Economic populism, xenophobia, race baiting, and religious bigotry are the stool that he has formed. That illegal immigration is a real problem. He's playing on their fears. He says most of them are rapists and drug dealers. They're not. Here's the banner of the Republican Party. Given who he is and what he said about immigrants, about Muslims, and young women, we've lost the heart and soul of the conservative movement.
I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. I think what you like about him, he appears to be strong when the rest of us are weak. He's a very successful businessman, and he's going to make everything great. He's going to take all the problems of the world and put them in a box and make your life better. That's what he's selling. Here's what you're buying. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for. I've been in the Air Force for 33 years. I retired this June. And you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.